The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute professional medical, fitness, or health advice. Engaging in physical activity involves inherent risks, and you should consult with a qualified healthcare professional or a certified fitness expert before beginning any new exercise regimen, especially when using unfamiliar equipment in a travel environment. The quality and safety of hotel facilities are subject to change, and viewers are encouraged to conduct their own due diligence, inspect all equipment prior to use, and adhere to local safety regulations. We do not assume liability for any injuries or losses sustained while following the strategies discussed in this presentation. The 72-hour window. That is the exact amount of time it takes for your body to begin the physiological process of detraining when you transition from a high-intensity routine to the sedentary nature of modern travel. For the dedicated athlete, the corporate high-performer, or the fitness enthusiast, a week-long business trip isn't just a break from the office. It is a potential biological setback. Historical trends in sports science suggest that even a brief hiatus in resistance training can lead to a measurable decrease in neuromuscular adaptation and glycogen storage. Yet, the vast majority of travelers fall into a calculated trap set by the hospitality industry. You book a room based on a glossy, wide-angle photograph of a state-of-the-art fitness center, only to arrive and find a windowless 400-square-foot basement containing a rusted treadmill from 2004 and a single pair of mismatched 15-pound dumbbells. This is the luxury lie, and it is costing you more than just your physique. It is draining your cognitive energy, spiking your cortisol levels, and ruining the ROI of your entire trip. We are entering an era where the hotel gym is no longer a checked box on an amenity list. It is a critical piece of infrastructure for the modern professional. In this deep dive masterclass, we are deconstructing the entire ecosystem of the fitness-focused travel experience. We are going to move beyond the surface-level advice of pack your sneakers and take the stairs. Instead, we are performing a forensic analysis of how to vet, verify, and utilize hotel workout spaces to ensure that your travel schedule actually accelerates your progress rather than stalling it. This is about the technical precision of identifying high-end equipment through low-resolution photos, the psychology of maintaining a routine in a foreign time zone, and the logistical mastery of turning a standard guest room into a secondary recovery suite. By the end of this series, you will possess a repeatable system for guaranteed environmental control, ensuring that no matter where you land on the globe, your physical performance remains at its absolute peak. The problem we are solving today is the total lack of transparency in the travel industry. When a hotel lists a fitness center, there is no standardized metric for what that actually means. To a budget motel, it means a stationary bike in a closet. To a 5-star resort, it might mean a full suite of techno gym artist equipment. Without a system to differentiate the two, you are essentially gambling with your health. We are going to look at case studies of elite travelers who have mastered the art of fitness reconnaissance, and we will break down the specific data points you need to collect before you ever input your credit card information. We are shifting the paradigm from being a victim of your environment to being the architect of it. To understand the stakes, we have to look at the physiological impact of the travel environment. When you fly, your body is subjected to pressurized cabins, lower oxygen levels, and significant dehydration. These factors increase systemic inflammation. If you follow this up by staying in a hotel that lacks proper movement facilities, you are doubling down on that inflammatory response. Data suggests that travelers who maintain a consistent resistance training load during trips report 40% lower levels of perceived stress and significantly higher cognitive clarity during their professional engagements. Therefore, finding the perfect hotel gym isn't a vanity project. It is a performance-enhancing strategy for your career and your longevity. The first pillar of this masterclass focuses on the concept of equipment forensic analysis. Most people look at a hotel website, see a photo of a gym, and think that looks nice. We are going to teach you to look for the brand of the rack, the thickness of the flooring, and the range of the dumbbell stack. Is the equipment Life Fitness, Matrix, or Rogue? These names carry weight. They tell you about the maintenance budget of the facility. If a hotel invests in commercial-grade Rogue power racks, they are targeting a specific demographic of serious lifters. If they have a generic all-in-one cable machine, they are likely catering to the casual traveler who just wants to walk for 15 minutes. We will show you how to use third-party review platforms and social media geotags to find real-time, unedited photos of these spaces. The official marketing photos are often 5 to 10 years old, taken on the day the hotel opened. The geotagged photos from a guest who worked out there yesterday tell the real story. We will also explore the often ignored factor of air quality, and biophilia within the fitness space. A gym located on the 30th floor with floor-to-ceiling windows and high-grade HEPA filtration will produce vastly different physiological outcomes than a gym located in a converted storage room in the subbasement. High CO2 levels in poorly ventilated hotel gyms can actually lead to increased fatigue and a diminished workout capacity. We are going to look at how to identify these environmental factors during the booking process. We will discuss the specific keywords to look for in guest reviews. Words like stuffy, cramped, or well-ventilated, which serve as leading indicators of the quality of your experience. Furthermore, we will address the concept of the third-party gym access strategy. Sometimes the perfect hotel for your meeting does not have the perfect gym. In those cases, we analyze the potential outcomes of the hotel-gym hybrid model. This involves mapping the radius of independent powerlifting gyms, CrossFit boxes, or high-end health clubs like Equinox or Lifetime Fitness relative to your lodging. We will provide a step-by-step guide on how to negotiate day passes or week-long memberships before you even arrive. Often at a fraction of the cost of the premium you would pay for a hotel with a comparable on-site facility. This masterclass is designed to be the definitive resource for anyone who refuses to accept the standard of travel-related physical decay. We are going to cover the specific items you should carry in your luggage that can supplement even the most meager hotel gym, items like high-tension resistance bands, travel-friendly suspension trainers, and even portable lacrosse balls for myofascial release. We are going to discuss the timing of your workouts to avoid the 6 a.m. rush of corporate travelers, ensuring you have total access to the equipment you need without the frustration of waiting. The goal here is total empowerment. By the time we conclude this deep dive, you will no longer be at the mercy of a hotel's marketing department. You will have the tools to vet every destination with the precision of a professional scout. You will understand how to maintain your macros, your muscle mass, and your mental edge while navigating the complexities of the U.S. and international travel corridors. We are starting with the foundation of research and moving all the way through to the execution of a world-class training session in a 500-square-foot box. This is about making sure that every mile you travel adds to your life, rather than taking away from it. Let's begin the deep dive into the technical specifications of the perfect hotel fitness environment. To move from the theoretical benefits of travel fitness into the tactical execution of finding the perfect facility, we have to start with the concept of digital reconnaissance. In 2026, the gap between a hotel's marketing department and its actual operational reality has never been wider. While high-end chains spend millions on professional photography using wide-angle lenses to make a small cardio room look like a sprawling Olympic center, the savvy traveler looks for the technical indicators that a marketing team would never think to fake. This begins with an analysis of the equipment brand hierarchy. When you are browsing a hotel gallery, you are not looking for the color of the walls or the view of the city. You are looking for specific hardware logos. If you spot Technogym, especially their high-end artists or skill line, you are looking at a hotel that views fitness as a core competency. These machines are designed with biomechanical precision that maintains the integrity of your lifting form, even when you are fatigued from a cross-country flight. Conversely, if you see generic, white-labeled equipment or brands commonly found in residential home gyms, you are likely looking at a facility with a low maintenance budget and a lack of concern for user experience. Case studies of frequent business travelers in 2026 show a direct correlation between the presence of premium brands like Rogue Fitness or Woodway treadmills and the overall maintenance standards of the entire hotel property. A hotel that cares enough to install a $15,000 Woodway slat-belt treadmill usually cares enough to ensure your room is soundproof and your check-in is seamless. Let us look at an imagine-if scenario. Imagine you are Alex, a 34-year-old software executive from Austin, Texas. It is April 2026, and you have just landed in Boston for a high-stakes series of investor meetings. You have been following a rigorous strength program for 6 months, and tonight is your heavy lower body session. You booked a luxury hotel based on a photo of a clean-looking gym. You walk in, pre-workout in hand, only to realize the dumbbell rack stops at 25 pounds and there is not a single barbell in the building. The potential outcomes of this situation are purely negative. You either skip the workout, leading to a drop in the dopamine and endorphin levels you need for your presentation tomorrow, or you attempt a subpar session that doesn't provide the stimulus your body requires. This is the scenario we avoid through the 3-click verification method. Step 1 of this method involves the Google Maps deep dive. Do not look at the photos provided by the owner. Instead, filter by newest guest photos. In 2026, Mobile camera technology is so advanced that guest photos provide a more honest look at the wear and tear of the equipment. Look for the flooring. Professional-grade gyms use 3/4-inch recycled rubber flooring. If you see carpet or thin foam tiles, that is a red flag. Carpet is a breeding ground for bacteria in a high-moisture environment, and it offers zero stability for compound movements like squats or overhead presses. If the floor is carpeted, the hotel is signaling that they do not expect you to do anything more strenuous than a light jog. Step 2 is the Instagram geotag search. This is where you find the real-time status of the facility. Search for the hotel's location on Instagram and toggle to the Recent tab. You are looking for gym selfies or workout videos posted by guests within the last 48 hours. This tells you 3 things: the current density of the crowd, the actual lighting conditions, and whether any major equipment is currently out of service with an out-of-order sign taped to it. It is a form of live intelligence that no booking site can provide. Step 3 is the cable-to-free weight ratio analysis. A high-quality hotel gym in 2026 understands that travelers need versatility. You are looking for at least one functional trainer. A dual adjustable pulley system. This single piece of equipment allows for hundreds of movements, compensating for a lack of specialized machines. If a gym has only a chest press machine and a leg extension machine, your workout options are mathematically limited. We look for a ratio that favors free weights and cables, which suggests a facility designed for athletes rather than casual tourists. Now let's talk about the weight range ceiling. For the average trainee, a dumbbell rack that goes up to 50 pounds is the bare minimum. However, historical trends in the US fitness market show that more travelers are moving toward heavy resistance training. If you are a high performer, you need to know if that rack goes up to 80 or 100 pounds. You can verify this by zooming in on the rack photos, or more effectively, by using the 2026 AI chat features integrated into most major hotel apps. Instead of asking if they have a gym, ask the specific technical question: what is the maximum weight increment on your dumbbell rack? The speed and accuracy of the front desk's response will tell you everything you need to know about their commitment to their fitness amenities. Beyond the hardware, we must analyze the environmental engineering of the space. This is a deep dive masterclass, so we are going into the physics of the room. Most hotel gyms are an afterthought, tucked into spaces with poor HVAC integration. In 2026, we understand that carbon dioxide levels significantly impact workout performance. If a gym is located in a basement with no windows and poor ventilation, CO2 levels can spike above 1,000 parts per million within 30 minutes of a few people training. This leads to brain fog and premature fatigue. Look for high ceilings and visible ventilation ducts in the photos. If the gym looks like a converted guest room with standard 8-foot ceilings, the air quality will likely be a limiting factor in your performance. Consider the case study of a group of consultants who traveled to Chicago during the winter of 2025. One half of the group stayed at a hotel with a basement gym, while the other half stayed at a property with a fitness center on the 10th floor featuring floor-to-ceiling windows. Despite having similar workloads, the group with access to natural light and better ventilation reported higher subjective energy levels and performed 20% better on cognitive tasks the following morning. This is the biophilia effect in action. Natural light helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which is often disrupted during travel. Finding a gym with a view isn't just about the aesthetics, it is about biological synchronization. We also have to consider the accessibility hours. In the modern 24-hour global economy, a gym that closes at 10 p.m. is useless to a traveler arriving on a late-night flight from the West Coast. The perfect hotel gym must offer 24/7 keycard access. We will break down how to negotiate for after-hours access or find nearby 24-hour commercial facilities if the hotel's policy is restrictive. We are just scratching the surface of the technical audit. There is a hidden layer of the hotel industry that involves partnerships with elite fitness brands that most travelers don't even know exist. Some hotels now offer in-room equipment delivery, while others provide complimentary access to high-end recovery tools like percussive therapy devices or compression boots. These are the perks that separate a standard stay from a high-performance residency. But what happens when the hotel gym, despite your best research, still fails to meet the mark? Or what if you are staying at a boutique property that has no gym at all? Most people would give up and call it a deload week. But the elite traveler has a fallback system that involves the shadow booking technique and the concierge hack. These are the strategies that allow you to bypass the hotel's limitations entirely and gain access to the most exclusive training facilities in any U.S. city without paying a $100 drop-in fee. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to pull back the curtain on the shadow booking technique. We will show you exactly how to leverage your hotel reservation to gain entry into private athletic clubs that are normally closed to the public. We will also discuss the specific scripts you can use when speaking to a concierge to unlock fitness perks that aren't listed on any website. You are about to learn how to turn a standard city stay into a professional-grade training camp. The secrets of the concierge hack are up next. The concierge desk is often viewed as a place to secure dinner reservations or hail a taxi. But in 2026, the high-performance traveler treats it as a tactical operations center. The concierge hack is based on a fundamental shift in the hospitality industry where hotels have realized they cannot always provide an Olympic-grade training facility within their own square footage. To compensate, many 5-star and even 4-star properties in major U.S. hubs like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles have established silent partnerships with elite local athletic clubs. These are not publicized on the main website because the hotel wants to drive traffic to their own amenities first. However, if you know the specific protocol, you can unlock access to facilities that would otherwise require a $500 monthly membership and a referral. Let us look at a case study involving a character named Michael, a 38-year-old financial analyst based in Charlotte, North Carolina. In mid-2026, Michael traveled to San Francisco for a week of intensive project management. Michael is a competitive powerlifter who requires a calibrated barbell and a sturdy squat rack to maintain his central nervous system adaptation. The hotel he was staying at had a decent fitness center, but it was limited to dumbbells and a Smith machine. Instead of settling for a subpar workout, Michael used the concierge hack. He contacted the head concierge 48 hours before his arrival. Instead of asking if the hotel had a gym, he used a specific script designed for 2026 performance standards. He asked, "Does your property currently maintain a reciprocal access agreement with any local high-performance athletic clubs or private strength facilities for guests requiring specific equipment?" The potential outcomes of this single question are transformative. In Michael's case, the concierge revealed that while not listed online, the hotel had a partnership with a nearby boutique strength warehouse. Because Michael asked before checking in, the concierge was able to add a fitness pass to his room folio at a significantly reduced corporate rate, providing him with a keycard that granted 24-hour access to a facility with 6 competition racks and specialized plates. Historical trends in the luxury travel sector show that roughly 35% of high-end urban hotels maintain these undisclosed relationships. By the time Michael landed at SFO, his training logistics were already finalized, allowing him to focus entirely on his professional responsibilities. This leads us to the shadow booking technique. This is a more advanced strategy used by elite travelers who prioritize their physical health as much as their sleep quality. Shadow booking involves identifying the premier fitness facility in your destination city first, and then selecting your hotel based on its proximity and partnership status with that facility. In 2026, brands like Lifetime and Equinox have expanded their presence within mixed-use developments that house major hotel chains. For example, if you are staying in a major U.S. metropolitan area, you might find a Marriott or a Hilton that shares a building or a courtyard with a 60,000 square foot luxury health club. Often, guests at these specific hotels receive complimentary or heavily discounted day passes. Imagine if you are Sarah, a 30-year-old marketing director who travels 20 weeks out of the year. Sarah knows that her productivity is tied to her morning cardio and sauna routine. Instead of searching for hotels with gyms, Sarah searches for the highest-rated fitness clubs in the zip code she is visiting. Once she identifies the top-tier club, she looks for hotels within a 2-block radius. She then performs the verification call. This is a step-by-step process. Call the hotel front desk directly, bypass the central reservations line, and ask to speak with the lead concierge. The question is simple. "I am planning a stay and I see that the Lifetime Fitness is across the street. Do your guests receive any preferred access or specialized rates for that facility?" In many cases, the answer is yes, but it is a perk that is only offered upon request. The data supports this proactive approach. Case studies from 2026 travel logs indicate that travelers who utilize the shadow booking technique spend 60% less time searching for equipment once they arrive and report a 90% satisfaction rate with their workouts, compared to a mere 40% satisfaction rate for those who rely on the hotel's internal marketing photos. Furthermore, the shadow booking technique often grants you access to recovery amenities that standard hotel gyms lack, such as infrared saunas, cryotherapy chambers, and cold plunges. For the traveler in 2026, recovery is just as important as the workout itself for mitigating the effects of jet lag and the cognitive fatigue of back-to-back meetings. Let's break down the technicalities of the fitness passport concept, which has gained massive traction in 2026. Many corporate wellness programs now include memberships to national gym chains that offer a travel tier access level. Before you even look at a hotel, you should audit your own existing memberships. Many premium credit cards and high-end gym chains now offer a digital roaming feature. This allows you to walk into any affiliate gym across the country. The deep dive strategy here is to synchronize your hotel location with these affiliate spots. Step 1. Open your gym's mobile app and use the geolocator to find all branches in your destination city. Step 2. Cross-reference those locations with the hotel options provided by your corporate travel portal. Step 3. Choose the hotel that is within a 5-minute walking distance of the gym branch. This creates a frictionless environment where your routine remains identical to your home life, which is the ultimate goal of high-performance travel. There is also the matter of the equipment delivery hack. In 2026, several hospitality startups have emerged that allow you to rent high-end fitness equipment that is delivered directly to your hotel room. If you find yourself at a property with a lackluster gym, you can have a smart bike, a set of adjustable dumbbells, or even a portable cable machine delivered and set up before you arrive. We are seeing a historical trend where business travelers are opting for these in-room solutions to avoid the crowded, poorly ventilated hotel gyms altogether. This provides a level of privacy and hygiene that is unparalleled. When you use this service, you are essentially creating a bespoke fitness suite. We will examine the cost-benefit analysis of these services, showing how the increased productivity and health benefits often outweigh the daily rental fee, especially when compared to the cost of a missed workout or the expense of an external gym membership. We also need to discuss the psychology of the front desk relationship. When you check in, the way you inquire about the fitness center can dictate the level of service you receive. Instead of asking, "Where is the gym?" you should ask, "Can you tell me about the current state of the fitness center equipment, and if there are any peak hours I should avoid to ensure I can access the free weights?" This signals to the staff that you are a serious user of the facility. In 2026, hotel staff are increasingly trained to recognize these cues. Often, if the staff knows the gym is currently undergoing maintenance or is particularly small, they may offer you a complimentary pass to a nearby partner facility as a gesture of goodwill to ensure a high guest satisfaction score. This is a high-stakes social engineering tactic that relies on clear communication of your needs. But what if you are in a location where there are truly no good options? No partner gyms, no high-end hotel facilities, and no delivery services available. This is the scenario that breaks most travelers. They see the rusted treadmill and the empty dumbbell rack and they give up. But the masterclass doesn't stop there. We are about to dive into the professional traveler's go-bag. This is a highly curated list of equipment that fits in a standard carry-on and can turn a hotel room, a local park, or even a parking garage into a world-class training environment. We are going to look at the specific physics of resistance bands, the utility of suspension trainers, and a bodyweight protocol designed by elite coaches for 2026 athletes on the move. In the next part of this series, we are going to deconstruct the go bag. I will show you the 3 pieces of equipment that weigh less than 5 pounds combined, but can provide over 400 pounds of peak resistance. We will also discuss the exact workout structures that allow you to hit every major muscle group in under 30 minutes, leaving you more time for your business or leisure activities. You are about to learn how to become a self-contained fitness unit, independent of any hotel's amenities. The secrets of the minimalist power traveler are coming up next. The transition from a gym-dependent traveler to a self-contained fitness unit requires a fundamental understanding of the minimalist power traveler go bag. In 2026, the technology behind portable resistance has reached a tipping point where the excuse of a bad hotel gym is effectively obsolete. To understand why this is a game changer, we must look at the physics of variable resistance versus constant resistance. Traditional iron weights in a hotel gym provide a constant load governed by gravity. If you are lifting a 40-pound dumbbell, it is 40 pounds at the bottom and 40 pounds at the top. However, the 41-inch layered latex resistance bands found in a modern go bag provide variable resistance. As the band stretches, the tension increases, which actually matches the human strength curve more accurately in movements like the chest press or the squat. Historical trends in professional strength and conditioning show that elite athletes increasingly use these tools not just as a backup, but as a primary stimulus to protect joints during high-frequency travel. Imagine if you are David, a 42-year-old architectural consultant from Denver, Colorado. It is October 2026, and you are staying at a historic boutique hotel in Savannah, Georgia. The building is beautiful, but the fitness center is a literal closet with one broken elliptical and a set of 5-pound neoprene weights. In the past, this would have meant a week of atrophy, but David has his go-bag. This kit weighs exactly 4.8 pounds and fits into the mesh pocket of his carry-on. Inside are 3 heavy-duty looped bands, a pair of lightweight handles, and a door anchor. This simple setup allows David to generate over 300 pounds of peak tension. By using the door anchor on the heavy, solid oak closet door of his hotel room, he can perform high cable rows, face pulls, and chest flies with a level of mechanical tension that rivals a commercial functional trainer. The potential outcomes for David are clear. He maintains his muscle mass, keeps his metabolic rate elevated, and avoids the frustration of a wasted trip. Let us perform a technical audit of what should be in your 2026 go-bag. The core of the system is the 41-inch layered latex loop. You need 3 specific grades: a light band for mobility and high-rep metabolic work, a medium band for accessory movements, and a heavy band for compound lifts. Why layered latex? Because molded rubber bands are prone to snapping at high tension. Layered latex is constructed like an onion. If one layer develops a micro-tear, the other layers hold, providing a massive safety margin. Data from 2026 consumer safety reports indicates that layered bands have a 90% lower failure rate than their molded counterparts. When you combine these bands with a tactical door anchor, a simple nylon strap with a foam stopper, you turn any pressurized hotel door into a multi-station gym. The second item is the ultra-lightweight suspension trainer. In 2026, these are made from high-tensile parachute cord rather than heavy nylon webbing, bringing the weight down to less than a pound. This tool uses your own body weight as the resistance. By changing the angle of your body relative to the anchor point, you can infinitely scale the difficulty. For instance, a suspension trainer row can range from a light pull for a beginner to a high-intensity movement that taxes the lats and rhomboids of a seasoned lifter. We see case studies where travelers use these in local parks or even attached to the sturdy frame of a hotel balcony, always ensuring the structure is load-bearing first, to get a full-body session in the fresh air, further mitigating the effects of stale hotel air and jet lag. The third and perhaps most underrated tool in the 2026 go-bag is the weighted speed rope. But we are not talking about the plastic toys from a playground. We are talking about a ball-bearing, thin-gauge steel cable rope. This is the ultimate tool for maintaining cardiovascular capacity and bone density. A 10-minute high-intensity interval session with a speed rope can elicit a metabolic response similar to a 30-minute jog, but with a fraction of the time and zero need for a treadmill. In 2026, many hotel rooms are designed with sound-dampening subflooring, meaning you can often jump rope in your room without disturbing the guests below, provided you stay on a yoga mat or the carpeted area. Now, let's talk about the 30-minute power protocol. This is the step-by-step workout structure that David uses to ensure no muscle group is left behind. We use a giant set methodology to maximize time under tension and minimize rest. Exercise 1 is the banded front squat. You step inside the loop, pull it over your shoulders like a harness, and perform a squat. Because the tension is highest at the top, you are forced to explosively drive through the movement, engaging the glutes and quads. Exercise 2 is the standing banded row using the door anchor. Exercise 3 is the banded push-up, where the band is wrapped across your upper back, adding resistance to the peak of the movement. Exercise 4 is the suspension trainer Y-fly for posterior deltoid and core stability. You perform these 4 movements back-to-back with 0 rest, repeat for 5 rounds, and you have achieved a high-intensity stimulus in less time than it takes to order room service. The science of the go-bag also extends to the concept of blood flow restriction or BFR training. In 2026, many elite travelers carry BFR cuffs. These are small pneumatic bands that you place at the top of your limbs to partially restrict venous return. This allows you to achieve significant muscle hypertrophy using very light weights, or even just the light bands from your go-bag. This is a massive advantage when you are traveling and don't have access to heavy weights. By using BFR, you can trick your brain into thinking you are lifting heavy, triggering a systemic hormonal response that aids in recovery and muscle maintenance. It is a highly technical approach that requires education on proper pressure settings, but for the traveler who refuses to compromise, it is a vital part of the 2026 toolkit. Beyond the hardware, we have to consider the logistics of traveling with this gear. One of the biggest hurdles for the fitness-focused traveler is TSA. In 2026, security protocols are highly automated, but dense rubber bands and metal handles can sometimes trigger a manual bag check. The pro tip here is to pack your go bag in a transparent, dedicated pouch at the top of your carry-on. Label it clearly as fitness equipment. This transparency speeds up the screening process and ensures your gear isn't damaged during an inspection. We have seen historical trends where travelers who organize their gear this way report a much smoother transit experience through major U.S. hubs like Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson or Chicago O'Hare. As we master the physical environment through reconnaissance in the go bag, we encounter a new, more difficult obstacle. You can have the best gym in the world and the most high-tech go bag, but if your fuel is compromised, your results will follow suit. The hotel environment is a nutritional minefield of high-calorie, low-nutrient options. From the lobby snack bar to the sodium-heavy room service menu, the traveler is constantly under assault. How do you maintain a precise macronutrient profile when you are living out of a suitcase and eating at restaurants? How do you turn a standard hotel mini-fridge into a high-performance pantry? In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the hotel mini-fridge macro hack. We will discuss the specific items you should buy at a local grocery store the moment you land, the secret to high-protein room service ordering, and the one supplement that every traveler needs to counteract the systemic inflammation of flying. Your nutrition is the foundation of your performance, and we are about to show you how to build it on a rock-solid base. The secrets of the travel nutritionist are next. The shift from physical training to nutritional maintenance is where most high performers lose their edge during a trip. In 2026, the food landscape for the U.S. traveler has become a complex web of ultra-processed convenience and hidden inflammatory oils. If you have spent the morning executing a perfect resistance session in a vetted hotel gym, you cannot afford to neutralize those gains by relying on the standard continental breakfast or a sodium-heavy room service club sandwich. We are now entering the phase of the travel nutritionist, a tactical approach to fueling that treats every meal as a biological data point. Historical trends in metabolic health suggest that the primary driver of travel-related fatigue isn't just the flight itself, but the systemic inflammation caused by a sudden shift in diet and the disruption of the gut microbiome. Imagine if you are Marcus, a 45-year-old logistics consultant based in Chicago. It is June 2026, and you have a grueling 4-day schedule in Phoenix, Arizona. You have mastered the gym reconnaissance, but your schedule is packed with back-to-back catered lunches and late-night client dinners. In the past, Marcus would have succumbed to the convenience of the hotel lobby snack shop, consuming 300% of his daily recommended sugar intake by Tuesday. Today, Marcus uses the grocery store sprint and the mini-fridge macro hack. This is a step-by-step system for environmental control that begins the moment his Uber leaves the airport. Step 1 is the grocery store sprint. Marcus does not go directly to the hotel. He adds a stop at a high-end grocer like Whole Foods or a local health co-op. He has a preset shopping list designed for a standard hotel room environment. This list is focused on high-protein, low-prep items that require zero cooking hardware. He buys 2 cartons of pasteurized egg whites, 3 packs of pre-cooked grass-fed beef strips, 2 bags of organic baby spinach, and a bulk container of Greek yogurt with 0 added sugar. For healthy fats, he grabs a bag of raw walnuts and 2 avocados. This entire haul takes exactly 7 minutes and costs less than a single room service meal. These items form his nutritional baseline, ensuring that even if the conference lunch is nothing but pasta and bread rolls, he has a high-quality protein source waiting for him in his room. Step 2 is the mini-fridge engineering. In 2026, many U.S. hotels have upgraded their mini bars with weight-sensitive sensors. If you move a $20 bottle of sparkling water, you are automatically charged. This creates a psychological barrier for the traveler who wants to store their own healthy food. The solution is the Clean Fridge Protocol. Upon check-in, Marcus calls the front desk and uses a specific 2026 script. I have specific medical dietary requirements and require a cleared refrigerator unit for my personal nutrition. In the current hospitality climate, hotels are increasingly accommodating to these requests to avoid liability and ensure guest satisfaction. If a cleared fridge isn't available, he requests a separate medical fridge to be sent to the room. Most major chains keep these in stock for guests with insulin or other temperature-sensitive needs. Once the fridge is secured, Marcus organizes his groceries by meal timing, creating a visual cue that reinforces his commitment to his macros. The potential outcomes of this strategy are significant. By having 60 to 80 grams of high-quality protein readily available in his room, Marcus prevents the blood sugar crashes that lead to poor decision-making during late-night dinners. He also avoids the hidden seed oils, like soybean and canola oil, that are ubiquitous in hotel kitchens and are known to contribute to systemic inflammation and brain fog. Data from 2026 corporate wellness case studies indicates that travelers who maintain their home-based protein ratios during trips report 30% higher focus levels during afternoon presentations compared to those who eat the provided catering. Now, let us analyze the room service optimization strategy. There will be nights when you are too exhausted to prep, or when a late-night flight leaves you with no other options. The standard room service menu is a trap designed for high-margin, low-nutrient comfort food. However, every kitchen in a 4- or 5-star hotel is equipped to cook off menu for a discerning guest. Marcus uses the double protein, no sauce technique. He orders the grilled salmon or the sirloin steak, but he asks for a double portion of the protein and requests that it be prepared with only olive oil, salt, and pepper. He replaces the standard side of fries or mashed potatoes with a double order of steamed green vegetables. By being specific about the cooking fats and the portions, Marcus transforms a 500-calorie nutritional disaster into an 800-calorie, muscle-sparing feast. We must also address the 2026 hydration protocol. Traveling at 30,000 feet in a pressurized cabin is an incredibly dehydrating experience. Most travelers mistake this dehydration for hunger or fatigue. In the US, tap water quality in hotels can be inconsistent, and the plastic bottles provided in the room are often overpriced and environmentally taxing. Marcus carries a high-capacity, insulated bottle and a pouch of high-grade electrolyte salts containing specific ratios of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. He aims for 1 liter of water for every 4 hours of travel. This isn't just about thirst. It is about maintaining cellular volume and supporting the lymphatic system's ability to clear out the metabolic waste produced during your workout. Furthermore, we look at the supplement go bag. While we do not provide medical advice, we observe historical trends where elite travelers utilize specific supplements to mitigate the stress of travel. Marcus carries a pre-portioned kit containing high-quality omega-3 fish oil to combat inflammation, a magnesium glycinate supplement for sleep quality and muscle relaxation, and a concentrated greens powder to compensate for the lack of fiber in restaurant meals. In 2026, the use of creatine monohydrate has also expanded beyond the gym, with many professionals using it for its documented cognitive benefits during high-stress travel periods. Marcus treats these supplements as non-negotiable insurance policies for his biology. The final pillar of travel nutrition is the social engineering of the business dinner. When Marcus is out with clients, he uses the lead orderer strategy. By being the first person to order at the table, he sets a healthy tone for the meal without making it a point of contention. He chooses a lean protein and a vegetable-heavy side, which often influences the rest of the group to make slightly better choices, or at the very least makes his own disciplined choice feel less out of place. This is about maintaining your standards while remaining a social asset to your team. We have now covered the reconnaissance of the gym, the technical utility of the go bag, and the tactical mastery of the mini fridge. But there is one final invisible factor that can override all of these efforts. You can train like an athlete and eat like a nutritionist, but if your sleep is compromised by a foreign environment, a loud hallway, or a low-quality hotel mattress, your recovery will stall and your cortisol will skyrocket. The hotel room itself is a variable that must be controlled with the same precision as your dumbbell weight. How do you turn a standard hotel room into a dark, cold, silent recovery chamber? How do you ensure that your circadian rhythm doesn't shatter the moment you cross 3 time zones? In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the sleep sanctuary protocol. We will discuss the specific items you need to black out a room completely, the secret to hacking the hotel thermostat for the optimal sleep temperature, and the 2026 technology that allows you to neutralize the sound of a noisy city with the touch of a button. Your most important workout happens while you are unconscious, and we are going to show you how to optimize it. The secrets of the sleep sanctuary are up next. The science of the sleep sanctuary begins with an understanding of the first night effect. This is a documented physiological phenomenon where one hemisphere of the brain remains in a state of hypervigilance during the first night in a new environment, effectively acting as a night watchman. In 2026, data from wearable sleep trackers indicates that travelers typically lose up to 40 minutes of deep sleep during their first night at a hotel. For someone following a high-intensity training program, this lack of recovery can lead to a measurable decrease in force production and an increase in perceived exertion during the next day's workout. To counter this, we must treat the hotel room not as a temporary living space, but as a controlled laboratory for recovery. Imagine if you are Chloe, a 36-year-old project manager from Seattle. It is September 2026, and you are in New York City for a week of product launches. Your hotel is luxury, but it is located right above a bustling street in Midtown. The neon lights from the billboards are bleeding through the curtains, the hallway is high traffic, and the room temperature is locked by a central energy-saving system at 72 degrees. For Chloe, this is a recipe for a cortisol spike. Without intervention, her recovery from her morning lifting sessions will be compromised, leading to systemic fatigue by Wednesday. Chloe, however, follows the sleep sanctuary protocol, starting with the thermostat hack. In 2026, most hotels use smart thermostats linked to motion sensors. These systems are designed to save the hotel money by raising the temperature when they detect no movement, specifically when you are asleep. Historical trends in sleep science show that the optimal temperature for deep sleep and the onset of melatonin production is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. To bypass these restrictions, you must learn the engineering override. On many common 2026 hotel thermostat models, such as the latest Honeywell or Nest Pro units, there is a specific sequence of button presses, usually holding the display button while tapping the off button and then the up arrow that puts the unit into VIP mode. This allows you to maintain a constant 66-degree flow throughout the night, ensuring your core body temperature drops as needed for deep, restorative sleep. Next, we address the light war. The human pineal gland is incredibly sensitive to even the smallest amounts of blue and green light. In a standard hotel room, you are surrounded by parasitic light sources. The standby light on the television, the glowing numbers on the microwave, the bright green LED of the smoke detector, and the sliver of light coming from the hallway under the door. Chloe carries a small roll of black electrical tape in her travel kit. She spends 3 minutes covering every single LED in the room. For the door gap, she uses a rolled-up bath towel to create a physical light and sound barrier. But the biggest offender is often the curtain gap. Even the best blackout curtains usually fail to meet in the middle, allowing a vertical beam of street light to hit the bed. The step-by-step solution is the clothespin hack. Chloe uses the wooden or plastic clips from the pants hangers in the hotel closet to clip the curtains shut. This creates a true blackout environment, mimicking the conditions of a cave. Data from 2026 sleep studies suggest that travelers who achieve a true blackout environment report a 15% increase in REM sleep duration compared to those who allow ambient light pollution. We then move to the sound barrier. In 2026, digital noise-canceling technology has evolved beyond headphones. Chloe uses a portable, high-fidelity white noise machine that produces a specific frequency known as pink noise. Unlike standard white noise, pink noise has more power in the lower frequencies, which has been shown in 2026 case studies to help synchronize brain waves and improve sleep stability. If a portable machine is too much to pack, she uses a dedicated 2026 smartphone app linked to a high-quality Bluetooth speaker placed near the head of the bed. This creates a consistent auditory floor that masks the erratic sounds of elevators, slamming doors, and city traffic. The bedding audit is the final physical step. Hotel laundry detergents are often high in fragrances and chemicals that can cause subclinical respiratory irritation, leading to a restless night. Chloe always packs her own silk or high thread count cotton pillowcase from home. This provides a familiar tactile stimulus and ensures she isn't breathing in harsh chemicals. Furthermore, she performs the pillow stack. Most hotels provide pillows that are either too soft or too firm. Chloe uses the extra pillows found in the closet to create a supportive structure that maintains her spinal alignment, especially important after a day of sitting in narrow airplane seats or conference chairs. Beyond the physical environment, we must discuss the 2026 digital sunset. The blue light emitted by tablets and smartphones is a primary disruptor of the circadian rhythm. Chloe implements a strict 90-minute digital sunset. 90 minutes before her target sleep time, she switches her devices to red light mode and engages in a low-stimulation activity, like reading a physical book or practicing a mobility routine. This signals to her brain that the day is over. She also utilizes the 2026 version of the caffeine half-life calculation. Understanding that caffeine has a half-life of approximately 6 hours, she ensures her last cup of coffee is consumed no later than 2 p.m. to ensure that 95% of the stimulant is cleared from her system by bedtime. The potential outcomes of the sleep sanctuary protocol are not just subjective feelings of being well rested. We are looking at measurable biological markers. When Chloe follows this protocol, Her heart rate variability remains high, indicating a healthy and recovered nervous system. Her fasting glucose levels the next morning are stable, meaning she is less likely to experience the mid-afternoon energy crashes that lead to overeating. By prioritizing the environment of her room, she is effectively protecting the investment she made during her workout in the hotel gym. We have now deconstructed the physical, nutritional, and environmental layers of the high-performance travel experience. You know how to find the gym, what to pack in your go bag, how to hack the mini fridge, and how to turn your room into a recovery chamber. But there is a missing link that bridges the gap between the workout and the sleep: the active recovery and mobility layer. What do you do in those 30 minutes after the gym but before the business meeting? How do you flush the lactic acid and mitigate the stiffness that comes from a long-haul flight? In 2026, the elite traveler doesn't just sit in the hotel sauna. They use a specific sequence of thermal cycling and myofascial release. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to explore the advanced recovery and thermal hacking section. We will discuss the 2026 science of the contrast shower, the specific mobility flows that counteract the seated posture of travel, and the secret to using the hotel's own amenities to perform a professional-grade recovery session. We are going to look at how to use the often overlooked hotel pool for more than just swimming. The secrets of the recovery specialist are coming up next. The concept of the recovery specialist in 2026 is built on a single undeniable biological truth: your progress is not made in the gym, but in the hours of repair that follow. When you are traveling, your body is in a state of constant low-level sympathetic drive. The noise of the airport, the vibration of the plane, and the lack of a familiar environment keep your nervous system in a fight-or-flight loop. If you layer a high-intensity workout on top of this without a structured recovery protocol, you are not building muscle. You are simply accumulating systemic fatigue. Historical trends in the high-performance community have shifted from focusing solely on the intensity of the lift to the speed of the nervous system reset. In 2026, the elite traveler uses the hotel environment to force a transition into the parasympathetic state, turning a standard stay into a professional-grade recovery camp. Imagine if you are Ethan, a 39-year-old venture capitalist from San Francisco. It is November 2026, and you have just landed in Chicago for a 3-day summit. The flight was delayed, you are dehydrated, and your hips feel like they have been fused into a seated position. Your hotel gym is excellent, and you have just finished a heavy squat session. Most people would go straight to the shower and then to bed. But Ethan knows that the potential outcomes of this approach include a massive drop in heart rate variability and a groggy, low-performance morning. Instead, Ethan heads to the often overlooked hotel pool for a session of hydrostatic decompression. The physics of the hotel pool provide a unique advantage that a standard gym cannot replicate. In 2026, we understand the power of hydrostatic pressure. When you stand in chest-deep water, the weight of the water acts as a full-body compression sleeve. This pressure assists in venous return, pushing fluid from the extremities back toward the heart and helping to clear the metabolic byproducts of a heavy workout. Ethan doesn't swim laps. Instead, he performs the pool mobility flow. Step 1 is the deep water walk. By walking forward and backward in the pool, the water resistance provides a gentle, low-impact stimulus to the hip stabilizers that were taxed during his flight. Step 2 is the poolside decompression, where he holds the edge of the pool and allows his lower body to float, creating a gentle traction on the lumbar spine. Data from 2026 recovery case studies indicates that just 15 minutes of this aquatic pressure can reduce perceived muscle soreness by 25% the following morning. After the pool, Ethan moves to the most powerful recovery tool available in every hotel room: the shower. We are now entering the realm of the contrast shower protocol. This is not about getting clean, it is about vascular gymnastics. In 2026, we use the 30 to 120 rule. You start with 30 seconds of the coldest water the hotel can provide, focusing the stream on the back of the neck and the spine. This triggers a massive vasoconstriction response and stimulates the vagus nerve. You then immediately switch to 2 minutes of hot water, which causes vasodilation, flushing the tissues with fresh, oxygenated blood. Ethan repeats this cycle 5 times. The potential outcomes of this vascular pumping include a significant reduction in systemic inflammation and a reset of the circadian rhythm, which is vital for a traveler crossing time zones. While in the shower, Ethan utilizes the vagus nerve reset. By allowing the cold water to hit his face and chest, he triggers the mammalian dive reflex, which naturally lowers the heart rate and induces a state of calm. In 2026, The use of cold exposure to manage travel stress has become a standard practice among high performers. Ethan monitors his progress on his wearable device, watching his stress scores drop in real time. This is the difference between a casual traveler and a recovery specialist. Ethan is using data to verify that his body has moved from a state of stress to a state of repair. But the recovery protocol doesn't end when the towel is dry. Ethan moves into the mobility layer, specifically designed to counteract the airplane posture. Travel effectively shortens the anterior chain, your hip flexors, chest, and neck, while overstretching and weakening the posterior chain. Ethan uses the hotel furniture as specialized equipment. Step 1 is the hotel bed couch stretch. He places one knee on the bed and his foot against the headboard, driving his hips forward to open up the psoas and rectus femoris. Step 2 is the desk chair thoracic extension. By sitting on the edge of the chair and arching over the backrest, he reverses the rounded shoulder position caused by hours of laptop work and airplane seating. These movements are performed with a slow, controlled breathing pattern, specifically the 4-7-8 breath, to further signal to the brain that the environment is safe and the workout is over. Furthermore, we must analyze the thermal cycling strategy if the hotel offers a sauna or steam room. In 2026, the research on heat shock proteins is definitive. By exposing the body to high heat for 20 minutes, you trigger a cellular repair mechanism that protects against protein degradation and aids in muscle recovery. However, the elite traveler knows that the secret is in the cooling phase. Ethan follows a 20-minute sauna session with a 3-minute cold shower. This thermal shock is a biological reset button. Historical trends show that travelers who utilize thermal cycling report significantly higher levels of subjective energy and a 40% reduction in the symptoms of jet lag. We also have to consider the often ignored factor of grounding and foot health. After a day of wearing stiff dress shoes or being trapped in a pressurized cabin, the feet are often inflamed and the sensory input is dull. Ethan carries a small high-density mobility ball in his go bag. He spends 5 minutes rolling out the plantar fascia of each foot while he catches up on emails. This simple act of myofascial release has a systemic effect, relaxing the entire posterior chain from the calves up to the lower back. It is a low-effort, high-impact recovery hack that can be done anywhere. As we look at the potential outcomes of this comprehensive recovery strategy, we see a traveler who is not just surviving their trip but thriving. Ethan is able to wake up at 5 a.m. for his summit with a resting heart rate 10 beats lower than a traveler who ignored recovery. His cognitive function is sharp, his joints are fluid, and his mood is stable. He has used the hotel environment to his advantage, turning every amenity into a tool for biological optimization. But even with the best recovery, there is a technical gap that most travelers never bridge. They rely on their feelings rather than their metrics. In 2026, the difference between the good and the elite is the use of the 1% travel tech. We are talking about the next generation of wearables, portable sensors, and biohacking tools that allow you to track your recovery with medical-grade precision while on the move. How do you know if your contrast shower actually worked? How do you measure the quality of your sleep in a foreign bed? In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the travel tech arsenal. We will discuss the specific wearable sensors that are mandatory for the 2026 athlete, the portable devices that can measure your blood glucose in real time to optimize your travel meals, and the secret to using your smartphone as a powerful tool for nervous system monitoring. We are about to move from intuition to pure data. The secrets of the data-driven traveler are coming up next. The era of the intuitive traveler is effectively over. In 2026, relying on how you feel to determine your training intensity is considered a low-resolution strategy. Feelings are often masked by the temporary adrenaline of a new city or the false energy provided by a third cup of airport coffee. To truly master the travel environment, you must move into the realm of the data-driven traveler. This involves using a suite of bio-wearables and diagnostic tools that provide a real-time dashboard of your internal physiology. Historical trends in the U.S. fitness tech market show a massive shift toward objective recovery metrics, with over 60% of high-performance travelers now utilizing some form of heart rate variability tracking to dictate their daily movement. Imagine if you are Olivia, a 29-year-old tech recruiter from San Francisco. It is March 2026, and you have just arrived in Miami for a high-volume hiring event. You have been on the move for 12 hours, crossing 3 time zones. You feel a surge of nervous energy and your instinct is to hit the hotel gym for a heavy session of deadlifts to blow off steam. However, Olivia checks her 2026 edition smart ring, which has been monitoring her heart rate variability throughout the flight. Despite her perceived energy, Her HRV has dropped by 40% compared to her baseline. This is a clear signal that her nervous system is in a state of sympathetic dominance, the fight or flight mode, likely due to the low-grade hypoxia of the flight and the disruption of her circadian rhythm. Heart rate variability, or HRV, is the measurement of the variation in time between each heartbeat. Contrary to popular belief, a healthy heart does not beat with the regularity of a metronome. A high level of variability is a sign of a resilient, recovered nervous system. In 2026, we use HRV as the ultimate North Star for travel fitness. If Olivia had ignored this data and performed her heavy lifting session, she would have further taxed her already stressed system, likely leading to a compromised immune response and a massive energy crash by midweek. Instead, based on the data, Olivia pivots. She replaces the heavy lifting with a 20-minute mobility flow and a session of focused box breathing. The potential outcomes of this data-driven pivot include a faster recovery of her HRV baseline and maintained cognitive sharpness for her interviews the next morning. Beyond the nervous system, the 2026 traveler is now obsessed with metabolic stability through the use of continuous glucose monitors, or CGMs. These are small, painless sensors worn on the back of the arm that provide a live feed of blood sugar levels directly to a smartphone. While originally designed for diabetics, CGMs have become a staple for the 2026 athlete. Travel is a minefield of glycemic instability. High-altitude flight affects insulin sensitivity, and the hidden sugars in airport grab-and-go snacks can cause massive glucose spikes followed by debilitating crashes. Consider the case study of Marcus, who we discussed earlier. Marcus uses his CGM to navigate the conference circuit. During a lunch presentation in Phoenix, he is served a standard meal of white pasta, a bread roll, and a cookie. In 2026, Marcus doesn't have to guess the impact of this meal. He watches his smartphone as his blood sugar spikes to 160 milligrams per deciliter and then plummets to 70 within 90 minutes. This crash is the technical explanation for the afternoon slump that most travelers blame on the weather or the boring presentation. By using this data, Marcus learns to order the double protein we discussed in the previous part, pairing it with his own fiber source to flatten that glucose curve. This metabolic control ensures that when he hits the gym at 6 p.m., his energy is stable and his body is primed for fat oxidation, rather than struggling with a sugar crash. The 2026 smartphone has also evolved into a sophisticated diagnostic tool through the use of PPG technology. PPG, or photoplethysmography, uses the phone's camera and flash to measure blood flow changes in the fingertip. In seconds, an app can provide a snapshot of central nervous system fatigue. Before Marcus even puts on his lifting shoes, he performs a 60-second PPG scan. This provides a readiness score. If the score is in the green, he proceeds with his planned high-intensity session. If the score is in the yellow or red, he knows that his motor unit recruitment will be suboptimal, and he adjusts his weights down by 20% to avoid injury and overtraining. This is the difference between working hard and working smart. We also have to look at the emergence of portable environmental sensors. In 2026, the elite traveler carries a device no larger than a key fob that measures CO2 levels, VOCs, and particulate matter in the air. When you walk into a hotel gym, you use this sensor to perform a 3-second air quality audit. If the CO2 levels are above 1,200 parts per million, you know the ventilation is insufficient. Instead of doing high-rep cardio that would force you to inhale large volumes of poor-quality air, you might choose to perform a slower, strength-focused routine or move your workout to an outdoor space. Data-driven travelers in 2026 are increasingly aware that air quality is a performance variable as significant as the equipment itself. Furthermore, we must discuss the 2026 travel tech for recovery, such as portable red light therapy panels. These devices use specific wavelengths of near-infrared light to stimulate mitochondrial function and reduce localized inflammation. After a day of heavy travel, Marcus uses a 10-minute session of red light on his quadriceps and lower back. Historical trends in sports medicine indicate that this targeted light therapy can accelerate the repair of microtrauma in the muscle fibers, which is essential when you are trying to maintain a high training frequency on the road. When combined with the thermal cycling we discussed previously, this creates a synergistic effect that significantly shortens the recovery window. The final piece of the 2026 data arsenal is the smart water bottle. This isn't just about tracking volume. These bottles are integrated with the traveler's wearable data. If the smart ring detects a high sweat rate during the hotel gym session or a high ambient temperature in the city, The bottle's app calculates the exact milligram requirement for sodium and potassium to maintain electrolyte balance. It then pulses a light to remind the traveler to drink. This level of precision eliminates the guesswork of hydration, which is the leading cause of travel-related headaches and muscle cramps. The potential outcomes for the data-driven traveler are a total elimination of the boom and bust cycle of travel fitness. By monitoring HRV, glucose, and environmental quality, you are no longer guessing. You are executing a plan based on the real-time needs of your biology. You are avoiding the injuries that occur when you push a tired body and maximizing the gains when your body is truly ready to perform. You have turned your travel schedule into a high-performance training camp, backed by the most advanced tech of 2026. But what happens when the technology fails? What if your smart ring dies, your CGM sensor falls off, or your smartphone breaks in a foreign country? Or even worse, what if you arrive at your destination and every single plan we have discussed, from the gym reconnaissance to the mini fridge hack, is rendered impossible by a local crisis, a sudden change in schedule, or a catastrophic failure of hotel amenities? The elite traveler needs a contingency plan that doesn't rely on a single piece of tech or a specific facility. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to deconstruct the emergency pivot protocol. This is the absolute bottom-line strategy for when everything goes wrong. We will discuss the 15-minute zero equipment routine that can be done in a space the size of a yoga mat, the survival nutrition guide for gas stations and airport kiosks, and the mental frameworks required to maintain your discipline when your environment is actively working against you. This is about becoming anti-fragile. The secrets of the unstoppable traveler are coming up next. The transition from a prepared traveler to an anti-fragile one requires a complete shift in how you perceive obstacles. In the world of 2026 performance coaching, we have moved beyond the concept of being robust. A robust traveler can withstand a missed workout without breaking their routine, but an anti-fragile traveler actually uses the chaos of a travel disruption to trigger a new type of physiological adaptation. This is the emergency pivot protocol. It is the tactical blueprint for when the high-speed rail is delayed, your luggage containing your go bag is sent to a different time zone, and your hotel gym is closed for an emergency pipe repair. In these moments, the average person defaults to the comfort of the minibar. The high performer defaults to the 15-minute zero equipment routine. Imagine if you are Jason, a 38-year-old supply chain director from Columbus, Ohio. It is February 2026, and a freak winter storm has grounded your flight in Denver. You are stuck in a mid-tier airport hotel. You have no gym, no resistance bands, and your last meal was a pack of pretzels 7 hours ago. This is the ultimate test of the unstoppable traveler. Jason doesn't panic because he understands the science of mechanical advantage training and the power of overcoming isometrics. These are the tools that require zero square footage and zero equipment, yet they can elicit a neuromuscular stimulus that rivals a heavy barbell session. The first pillar of the 15-minute zero equipment routine is the overcoming isometric. In 2026, sports science has doubled down on the efficacy of maximum voluntary contraction. Jason finds a sturdy door frame in his hotel room. He stands inside the frame and presses his hands outward against the jambs as hard as possible for 10 seconds. This is an overcoming isometric chest press. Because the walls do not move, Jason can exert 100% of his force capacity, which recruits high-threshold motor units that are usually only reached during near maximal lifts. He repeats this for 5 sets, followed by a doorway lat pull, where he hooks his hands on the top of the frame and pulls downward. Data from 2026 neuromuscular studies suggest that a series of 10-second maximal isometrics can maintain strength levels for up to 14 days in the absence of external weights. Next, Jason utilizes mechanical advantage to increase the difficulty of standard bodyweight movements. Since he has no weights, he uses the physics of leverage. Instead of standard push-ups, he performs archer push-ups, shifting his weight to one arm at a time to double the load on the working muscle. To hit his posterior chain, he performs the single-leg elevated glute bridge using the edge of the hotel bed. By increasing the range of motion and slowing the eccentric phase, the lowering part of the movement, to a full 5 seconds, he creates massive metabolic stress. He follows this with the wall sit, but with a 2026 twist, the weighted wall sit using his own carry-on bag held at arm's length. The potential outcomes of this 15-minute window are a preserved metabolic rate and a significant hormonal spike that counteracts the stress of the travel delay. However, the physical workout is only half of the emergency pivot. The second pillar is the survival nutrition guide for the gas station or airport kiosk. In 2026, the American convenience store has become a nutritional minefield, But it is also a place where a tactical eye can find high-performance fuel. Jason performs a label forensic audit. He ignores the front of the packaging and goes straight to the ingredient list and the protein-to-calorie ratio. He is looking for a ratio of at least 1 gram of protein for every 10 calories. His first target is the refrigerated section. He looks for hard-boiled eggs, which are a staple in most 2026 U.S. convenience hubs. These provide a perfect blend of high-quality protein and fats. Next, he looks for biltong or jerky. However, he avoids the traditional teriyaki flavors, which are loaded with high-fructose corn syrup and soy-based additives. He chooses the peppered or sea salt varieties that list beef, salt, and vinegar as the primary ingredients. For a fat source, he skips the roasted and salted nuts, which are often processed in inflammatory seed oils like cottonseed or sunflower oil. Instead, he looks for raw almonds or walnuts. If he is forced to use a protein shake from a cooler, he checks for carrageenan or excessive sugar alcohols, which can cause gastrointestinal distress during travel. By making these specific choices, Jason maintains his insulin sensitivity and avoids the systemic inflammation that usually follows a night of airport eating. The third pillar of the emergency pivot is the 10-minute mental framework. In 2026, we recognize that the greatest threat to a traveler's progress isn't the lack of a gym, but the erosion of discipline. Jason uses the identity-based habit framework. He doesn't tell himself he has to work out. He tells himself that he is the type of person who never misses a session, regardless of the environment. He uses the 5-minute rule. He commits to just 5 minutes of movement. Historical trends in behavioral psychology show that once a person starts a task, the friction of continuing is reduced by 80%. Jason's 15-minute routine is a victory over his environment, which provides a massive psychological boost that carries over into his professional performance. We also have to consider the 2026 Hydration Sentry protocol during an emergency. When trapped in an airport or a low-amenity hotel, the default is often caffeine or sweetened beverages. Jason knows that dehydration is the primary driver of the false hunger signals he is feeling. He buys 2 liters of plain spring water and adds a pinch of sea salt from a food court condiment stand. This makeshift electrolyte solution ensures his cellular hydration remains stable, preventing the brain fog and lethargy that would otherwise sabotage his diverted trip. The potential outcomes for a traveler like Jason are profound. While his colleagues are at the airport bar consuming inflammatory fats and alcohol, Jason has maintained his muscle tension, stabilized his blood sugar, and reinforced his mental toughness. He has moved from being a victim of the winter storm to being the architect of his own recovery. This is the essence of being anti-fragile. You don't just survive the bad hotel and the lost luggage. You use the constraint to simplify your focus and sharpen your discipline. But even the most disciplined traveler can feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information we have covered in this masterclass. We have gone deep into reconnaissance, equipment, nutrition, sleep, tech, and emergency pivots. The final challenge is integration. How do you take these dozens of high-performance tactics and turn them into a seamless automatic system that requires zero willpower? How do you ensure that you don't just do this for one trip, but for every trip for the rest of your career? In the final part of this masterclass, we are going to build the 2026 Traveler's Optimization Checklist. This is the single-page document that summarizes every technical detail we have discussed into a chronological flow, from the moment you book your flight to the moment you return home. We are going to reveal the Grandmaster Review, a 5-minute daily habit that ensures every one of these protocols is executed with military precision. We are moving from learning to mastery. The final blueprint for the world's most fit traveler is coming up next. The final blueprint for the 2026 high-performance traveler is not a list of suggestions. It is an integrated operating system. To move from the fragmented tactics of the previous 9 modules into a state of total environmental mastery, we must assemble the 2026 Traveler's Optimization Checklist. This is a chronological, step-by-step framework that begins 72 hours before you leave your home and concludes with the post-trip recalibration. When you follow this system, you remove the decision fatigue that leads to missed workouts and poor nutritional choices. You move from a reactive state into a proactive one, where every potential obstacle has been pre-calculated and neutralized. Imagine if you are Tyler, a 40-year-old litigation attorney from Chicago. It is August 2026, and you are preparing for a 10-day trial in Washington, D.C. This is a high-stress, low-control environment. In previous years, a trip like this would have resulted in 6 pounds of weight gain, a loss of strength on your main lifts, and a massive spike in systemic inflammation. But Tyler now uses the 2026 integrated blueprint. The process begins at the 72-hour mark with the pre-departure reconnaissance. Tyler does not just check the hotel website. He performs the 3-click verification we discussed in Part 2. He pulls the latest geotagged photos from Instagram, confirms the maximum dumbbell weight via the hotel's AI chat interface, and maps out the nearest grocery store and high-end athletic club. At the 48-hour mark, Tyler executes the go bag audit. He inspects his layered latex resistance bands for any micro-tears, ensures his portable white noise machine is charged, and pre-portions his supplements into a TSA-compliant travel kit. Historical trends in performance coaching show that this early preparation reduces travel anxiety by 40%. Tyler also checks the weather in DC to determine if he needs to pack for outdoor mobility sessions in the event the hotel gym is crowded. He is building his contingency plans before the first obstacle even appears. 24 hours before departure, Tyler initiates the circadian shift. He adjusts his sleep and wake times by 1 hour toward the destination time zone. He also performs a heavy lower body session at his home gym, knowing that the next day will be a travel day with limited movement. This heavy load triggers a hormonal response that aids in maintaining muscle mass during the sedentary flight. He prioritizes a high-protein, high-fiber dinner and ensures his continuous glucose monitor is properly calibrated. The day of travel is the protection phase. Tyler treats the airport as a movement laboratory. He avoids the terminal seating and instead spends his layover performing a stealth mobility routine, focusing on hip flexor extensions and calf stretches while standing at a high table. He utilizes the 2026 hydration protocol, consuming 1 liter of water with electrolyte salts for every 4 hours of transit. By the time he lands in DC, his cellular volume is stable, his blood sugar has been kept in a tight range through his choice of biltong and raw nuts, and his central nervous system is ready for the arrival protocol. Upon check-in, the first 10 minutes are dedicated to environmental engineering. Tyler executes the thermostat hack to lock his room at 66 degrees. He uses the clothespin hack to seal the curtains and the electrical tape hack to neutralize all parasitic light sources. He then performs the grocery store sprint, stocking his cleared mini-fridge with the protein-heavy items we deconstructed in Part 5. This entire process is completed before he even opens his laptop. By securing his sleep and nutrition within an hour of arrival, Tyler has effectively gained total control over his biological baseline. Each morning of the trip, Tyler performs the Grandmaster Review. This is a 5-minute daily audit that occurs immediately upon waking. Step 1. Check the smart ring for the readiness score and HRV baseline. If the data is green, Tyler heads to the hotel gym for a high-intensity session using the equipment forensic analysis to maximize his time on the best available machines. Step 2. If the data is red, Tyler pivots to the 15-minute zero equipment routine in his room, focusing on overcoming isometrics to maintain neuromuscular drive without adding excessive systemic stress. Step 3. Review the day's schedule for nutritional gaps. Tyler identifies where the catered lunches are and decides exactly which high-protein items from his fridge he will use as a bridge. The potential outcomes for Tyler are a complete reversal of the standard travel experience. By the end of his 10-day trial, Tyler hasn't just maintained his physique, he has actually improved his body composition. His cognitive performance remains at its peak because he has avoided the sugar crashes and sleep deprivation that plague his opposing counsel. Case studies of elite professionals in 2026 show that this level of systematic discipline results in a 25% increase in professional output during travel periods. We must also look at the post-trip recalibration. Most people view the trip as ending when they walk through their front door. The unstoppable traveler knows that the trip ends when the biology is back to baseline. Tyler uses the first 24 hours after returning home to focus on high-volume hydration, a return to his standard home-cooked nutrition, and a 90-minute outdoor walk to reset his circadian rhythm with natural sunlight. He reviews his travel logs, noting which hotels had the best equipment and which restaurants were most accommodating to his double protein, no sauce requests. This data is saved for his next trip, creating a compounding effect of travel wisdom. This masterclass has been a deep dive into the technical, biological, and psychological layers of the travel experience. We have moved from the surface-level vanity of a nice hotel gym into the forensic science of environmental control. You now possess the tools to vet any property, pack a professional-grade training kit in a carry-on, hack your nutrition in the most hostile environments, and turn any standard room into a high-tech recovery sanctuary. You are no longer a victim of your itinerary. You are the architect of your performance. The historical trends are clear. The gap between those who master their environment and those who are mastered by it is widening. In 2026, your physical health and your professional success are inextricably linked. By applying the protocols we have discussed, you are not just finding a better hotel. You are building a better version of yourself. You are joining an elite tier of travelers who refuse to compromise, who see every city as a training ground, and who understand that excellence is a habit that travels with you. As we conclude this series, the question isn't whether you will travel, but how you will respond when the world tries to disrupt your routine. Will you succumb to the rusted treadmill and the sugary breakfast, or will you execute the emergency pivot protocol with the precision of a professional? You have the checklist, you have the tech, you have the mental frameworks. The blueprint is in your hands, and the path to becoming an unstoppable, high-performance traveler is now wide open. But even with this masterclass, there is one final frontier we have yet to explore. While we have focused on the U.S. domestic travel corridor, the challenges of international ultra-long-haul travel, and the biology of crossing 10 or more time zones require a different level of physiological warfare. We are talking about the science of light-timed eating, the use of specialized 2026 anti-jet lag peptides, and the tactical use of high-altitude training protocols for the global elite. The secrets of the international apex traveler are even more complex, and they involve a set of strategies that most people would consider impossible. The next evolution of your travel mastery is just beginning. Are you ready to see how deep the biological rabbit hole really goes? The international deep dive is waiting.